as much as they can, as everyone here is currently doing. Because without you, this won't be happening consistently. So we appreciate everyone who has taken their time to join us today again. I can see a whole lot of us here. I can see Engineer Lovelin. I can see Engineer Christopher Inyang. I can see Engineer Kola Wale. So many. I saw Miss Monica also. Yes, our Mama in safety. She just joined us. The Queen of Safety just joined us now. Thank you, Ma. I can see Mrs. Olayinka Alabi. I can see Mrs. Olubukola Didi Olomo. I can see Mr. Soni Vargasi always joining us every time. Thank you so much, everyone. We can't mention everyone's name. You can see so many people, and also Mr. Nu Haliu. And our speaker is rightly already here with us for today's wonderful series. And without much ado, I would like to go on. But I also want to ensure that you are already live on YouTube. Link unavailable. Why is it saying that? Why is it saying link unavailable? I've connected this already. Please kindly exercise patience. This is not the first time I will be doing this stuff. Why is it not? I'm trying to connect directly to YouTube, so that I'll be live on YouTube also. Okay, stop live stream. Okay, I think he's already live. Okay, we're already live on YouTube. Okay, then that's fine. Yes, today we are having with us, so that we'll go straight to the discussion of today and not waste much time. It's really exciting. I'm really glad that we have a whole lot of people who have joined us today already. And like I used to say, what matters most is the knowledge, the insights we are going to gain from every episode. No episode is a waste, no matter the topic we're going to talk about, we still have some things to learn. And if network is giving you some issues, that is the reason why we have the alternative of joining via YouTube for those who can't join us live due to network issues and the likes. So we are all, and if again, the network is also not bad, you are having it recorded so that later you can watch it live on YouTube. The most important thing is we are able to die empty, meaning that every one of us have that responsibility when it comes to sustainability to ensure that we pass the knowledge around to everyone, to the next generation, and it continues like that. So we are learning from this generation, we are learning from the past generation now, like the lives of Miss Monica, like the life of our speaker here today, so that we also have enough to also pass to the next generation. Thank you so much, Mr. Titus, for honoring the invite. We really appreciate you. So introducing our speaker right away, Mr. Titus Aranilewa. Sorry, I murdered the name a couple of times when creating the flyer. So sorry about that. So we have our speaker already here with us. He's a strategic occupational health, safety, and ESG and sustainability professional with over 2 decades. Yeah, anytime I say past generation, I'm not saying that they are not existing, they are still existing till today. So for two decades, post-graduation practical experience in all aspects of sustainability, risk management, EHSES, management across multiple industries, oil and gas, core environmental consulting, energy infrastructure development, and operations. Relevant working experience in English, imagine, Spanish, imagine, and French-speaking African countries. A strategic leader with proven record across multiple business environments. I remember that we have been discussing about this since last year, if I'm not mistaken, and he has been very busy. But at last, we have him here today, and I'm so glad. He's excellent, he's an excellent technical knowledge, or he has excellent technical knowledge of key HSSE issues to developing, implementing policies, plans, managing integrated management system. According to World Bank IFC performance, ISO 2001, 2001, and the likes. He is up to date in knowledge of current trends and sectoral challenges pertaining to the area of sustainability. And that's how we have him today. I will believe that he is going to do justice to this very topic. He has demonstrated ability to deliver results, create value, and drive continuous performance improvement. Track record in influencing positive organizational change. He has a lot of competencies that I can't keep mentioning. All in all, we rest assured that the competency that is required to deliver this very important topic. I had those keywords for the first time. You know me, I always say it the way it is. I'm not always shy to expose my vulnerability. the ESDD. I heard it for the first time from him, and I'm glad I did. And I'm very sure that I have a lot to learn today also from this great man of timber and caliber. And it's my honor in every aspect, with all humility and privilege, to invite to the podium in person of Mr. Titus. Over to you, sir, Mr. Titus. I'm going to make you the co-host now so that you can also share your screen with us.
Right, my brother Waliu, thank you so much for the privilege. You have sounded so much on, but I take all as humility, humility, and I ascribe all of the success to God and to everyone that has supported us in this career. I greet everyone here. Special greetings to Loveline, my friend, and Monica. I'm seeing a lot of Madam here. Madam Shiwe, I greet you. Mary Peters, Sharon, Kingsley. I just greet everyone. Just please, in case if I meet or I couldn't mention your name. Thank you once again for the privilege to be here. I'm not taking it for granted, and it is not much of knowledge, it's just by grace. So I will believe that by the grace of God, we'll be able to discuss here the discussion. I have people that we have shared in our careers together that will also be able to support me here and add value to what we're going to discuss here. So I'm going to share my screen right away. And I believe that you'll be able to help me once you see it, and then progress. Anybody seen it now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes, I can.
All right. So this is preparing organizations for ESDD and ESM processes, the what and the how. Basically, ESDD is environmental and social due diligence, and then ESM is environmental and social monitoring processes. So this is what we'll be looking at in the next couple of minutes from here. So let me say it here. Basically, when we talk about environmental and social due diligence, it's an investigative process whereby in the area of businesses, we have to confirm facts about an organization and then to assess the potential environmental and social risk before entering into any engagement or a transaction. It's just like when you want to get a loan from bank, then bank will say, okay, tell us you are from your you are from so-and-so organizations, and let us make our background checks. So that's close to environmental and social due diligence. Now, it involves a variety of tasks, reviewing financial records, understanding regulatory compliance, and some other things like that. Now, in this meeting today, I'm trying to not to speak too much of terms so that we can basically understand what it is. Environmental and social guidance, environmental and social due diligence basically varies from organization to organizations in forms of internal processes, risk and management protocols. So not all financial institutions have the same, but they may share some resemblance in their protocols. Now, this is my drive to this presentation. This is my main drive to this presentation. In the past 2-3 weeks, we'll be hearing news about company investing in Nigeria, in Africa. If you can see this presentation, you will see the Danish Development Fund financial institution announcing Africa to be a major focus area. Now, I think within this last week, the one we had yesterday, there was this information about a lot of money being invested in the Indorama petrochemicals in Nigeria. So, and many more of this is going to come. So I felt it's good that HSC, ESG professionals will need to prepare themselves, so that they could also take advantage of some of these opportunities that are coming. recently, Verod and the Development Finance Department invested a lot of money in a PAT. Recently, my company and the NSIA concluded a deal to develop solar plant. So you see that so many opportunities are coming in, and I think it's good for us as professionals to look at some of these things and how we can benefit. So there's going to be a lot of investment opportunity. Some debt businesses is going to be revamped, and there's going to be many startup upcoming, very many startup coming, and definitely there might also be business mergers and acquisition increasing. Of course, there's going to be job opportunity. So I'm saying this so that for us as a ESG professionals, HSC professionals, we should just get ourselves developed, so that when this opportunity comes, we could meet us favorable. So this is my key reason why I'm taking this discussion. So what is the purpose of environmental and social diligence? Basically, he wants to give an insight into the matter around the proposed investment. He wants to know everything around that investment. He wants to find out where is it located, how are we sure they are the owner of the land, how are we sure the land is not agitated, there's no issue. How we want to know about the owner of the companies. We want to be sure that how we sure it's not a government individual that is into it and some other things like that. So they want to find out issues around the matter of a proposed investment. And the essence is that they want to prevent unexpected surprises. They don't want to wake up tomorrow and then discover that something has happened. And I give you an example. This one happens to a friend of mine. He owns a drilling rig, drilling beach company. And then he got a job, one of these oil companies. I'm not going to mention the name for security purposes. And then they connected him through a politician that, okay, oh, this man is our friend, so just let's work with him. So that they paid the money to that guy's account, a whopping sum of 258 million, and the guy disappeared. So, it took the grace of God for him to be able to recover from that. This happened just last year. So an organization wants to avoid, unexpected surprises. So they want to be able to identify and minimize risk, and they be sure that all legal compliances are met with. And that will definitely help them to make informed decisions that protect the investment and the investors, and also help them to make informed decisions that align with the investors' goals. So if they have a particular goal, if it doesn't align with it, definitely it's not going to work. Or if it aligns with it, it works, and then they continue. So this is the reason for environmental and social due diligence. Now, just summarize it into 3 here. They want to identify and guard against risk and impact. And they also want to see how they can improve financial and operational performances, and then be able to obtain social license to operate. So this summarizes everything I've said in the previous slide. So this is the purpose of environmental and social due diligence for an organization. Now, we have a lot of players. It's an activity that involves multiple stakeholders. So it involves first the investor, and then that's the partner that is conducting the due diligence. It could be the investor directly, or it could be an organization conducting that ESDD on behalf of the investor. And then we have the business that is being examined or that is being investigated. Of course, we have a lot of professionals that are involved. We have lawyers, we have accountants, financial advisors, of course, environmental professionals, and social workers, and so other things like that. And then we have the codified stakeholders, which are regulatory agencies that have specific regulations, statutory requirements that must be met with. And then we also have the communities and the other stakeholders that are actually not non-codified or uncodified, as we call it. So that means they don't have regulations or whatever, but they said, this is our land, this is our cultural area that nobody should do anything. So they have all those things, and they want to make sure that all these players play their role well without any issues, and they arrive at a win-win situation. So these are the ESDD players. I hope you can hear what I'm saying, please.
Yes, we can.
I hope you can hear what I'm saying.
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I can hear you.
Okay.
You are flowing perfectly, sir. We can hear you loud and clear.
So, so let's look at the framework for ESDD. Basically, there are so many frameworks depending on the industries and organizations or the business type. But I'm going to be talking basically on three: the IFC performance standard, which is general for almost every industry, where you have to check the environmental, the social, and the governance issues. Of course, the World Bank Environment and Social Guidelines is also part of the framework. But specifically because of the industry where I work, we have what we call the hydropower sustainability standards. So if you are carrying out a due diligence in the hydropower, then you also look at this hydropower sustainability standard as part of it. So in some other organizations, maybe in food agri, there might be other things that might be required. But basically, the IFC performance standard, World Bank Environmental and Social Guidelines are the major frameworks for environmental and social. So we have a platform, the ESG Champion Group, where last month, one of the things one of the books we read was the IFC performance standard. So if there's anyone on this call who doesn't have an understanding of this, you can just take your time, reach out to Mr. Waliu, and then we can get information about this, and you can take your time to read through. Information about hydropower sustainability standard for anyone who is here, who is in power industry or who is in the hydropower industry, will also reach out to me if you don't have that. But basically, these are the framework for ESDD for the general one. The hydropower one is specific to hydropower power plants.
Mommy, dynamics is around.
So, please, can you mute everybody, please? All right. Now, the process for ESDD basically is a straightforward process that involves scoping and defining objectives, identifications of areas that require examination. So what exactly do you want to do? Are you doing the rice mill? Are you doing is it an agricultural business? Is it a transportation business? Is it a power plant business? Is it a solar? So you have to define exactly what you want. And then you get information, both quantitative and qualitative data in form of interviews and of course questionnaires, and then bring all this together, evaluate and analyze the data that are collected, and then this will be able to help you to identify the potential risk and benefit, working with those frameworks that I discussed earlier on. And then you come up with your reporting. So this is basically what you have in the ESDD process. So this is summarized here. So check the available documents, and then you go to the site, and then while you're doing that, get the baseline conditions, discuss with key holders, carry out your screen activities, using those frameworks, identify and analyze the environmental and social impacts, and then come up with an action plan, and then prepare your environmental and due diligence report. So this summary is the process of the ESDD. Now, when you've done your ESDD, you come out with a report. And in your report, you could develop what we call Environmental and Social Action Plan, ESAP. Now, ESAP is Environmental and Social Mitigations and Monitoring Measures, which defines the criteria for successful implementations and organization measure to be implemented, whether it is during construction, or even during the operation of the project. Now, it's a live project, it's a live document that evolves from time to time. So when you carry out an environmental and social due diligence, definitely you have some gaps, and then based on the frameworks, from there you define action, you define findings that needs to be met, and then from the findings, you give your recommendations of what needs to be done to close out those gaps, and possibly give out time frame for those gaps to be closed out. So once this is done, now what you just do is you keep checking. It could be quarterly, you could just be checking up quarterly, or you could check maybe annually or biannually, depends. So in some projects, you might need to combine this ESAP with the ESIA plan, so management plan, so that you'll be able to get the wide coverage of what is around a particular investment. So, but basically, when you carry out an environmental and social diligence, what you are arriving at is finding out, getting the findings, and then from the findings, draw out environmental and social action plan, which helps you to be able to close out and see how the findings or the shortfalls of some of those requirements are being closed out and are being monitored from time to time. So you have to update them, and make sure that they meet up with the requirement of the frameworks. Right, so basically, I just want to put this as a passerby. When you talk of environmental and social monitoring, after you've done your environmental and social due diligence, and then you develop the environmental and social action plan. Now, environmental and social monitoring will be on most times on an annual basis to come and check what is the update of the ESAP, and then check if there is any new or emerging risk or emerging opportunity in the business or in the business environment. So this is what you see when after a successful ESDD, and then progress is on, then the financial institutions definitely come back after every year to check that okay, you've gotten this money, this business is going on now, but want to be sure that you are still within the compliance of those things that we agree on while the project started. So this is the difference between the environmental and social due diligence and the environmental and social monitoring. So the monitoring is to help organizations manage and minimize impact, to ensure compliance as the business continues, and then to mitigate risk that could either be an emerging risk as the business continues, or any other issues that may arise within the business. So that's ESM. Now, I'm going to be talking about something that is a bit different. That's what we call enhanced due diligence. Now, this is a bit different from what we've talked about. Now, in enhanced risk due diligence, you talk of risk management and regulatory compliances for businesses that is also across industry, but has a stringent measure to identify and mitigate potentials. Now, it involves deep understandings of customers, especially transactions and relationships. So anytime an organization is conducting and enhanced due diligence, it means that there is an indication that either an illegal transaction or an illegal relationship has existed between the organization and some people. So it could be traced to fraud, money laundering, corruption, terrorism, or arms trafficking. So basically, now, what do they do? What are the triggers? Now, enhanced due diligence can be triggered when you have entity that has been sanctioned. For example, if you discover that a particular organization has been sanctioned, and then they want to find out if he's carrying out any business. So they need to get enhanced due diligence to track the company and see exactly what is happening around it. Now, if you also have a politically opposed person in the organization who holds a prominent public position, or who is in government but has a close association with the organization, now they have to carry out enhanced due diligence, on such people. Now, we also have some people that high-risk customers, due to their occupations or country of residence. I don't want to mention countries because I believe this call could have been connected to from various places all over the world. But there are some occupations, if you are into it, that before you are allowed, they have to carry out some enhanced due diligence. Now, if you work or live in a particular country, before you are approved to carry out or investment in such organizations, they have to also carry out enhanced due diligence. And of course, when there are unusual transactions, that deviate from customer normal behavior, that's a red flag. So they also have to do that. I'm sure for those of us in Nigeria, this one is a general information. You are aware when one of the ministers said he mistakenly transferred 44 billion naira into one account. So that kind of unusual transaction, so they have to track and find out this kind of transaction. So that's what you see with enhanced due diligence. So like I said in my first, you look at this when it comes to issue on money laundering, fraud, arms trafficking, terrorism, and corruption. So this is a bit deeper than the environmental and social diligence. So see the scenarios now: money laundering businesses, casino and gaming, cryptocurrency exchanges, and of course correspondent banking. So these are some high-risk industry that people put eyes on to carry out enhanced due diligence. You see a lot of this. You see a lot of investigation going on when it has to do with casino gaming, cryptocurrencies, money services, correspondent banking, and all the rest. So that's about enhanced due diligence. Now, here now, I would like to talk about, as an ESG, HSC professional, what should be our preparatory roles now that we are hitting these opportunities and we see all these opportunities flying all around us. What are the things we need to do? The first is we need to develop and implement environmental and social management to support environmental and social due diligence. So it's important for us. If you don't know how to develop or how to implement, there are a lot of opportunities all over the places where you'll be able to find out what you should do and how you can develop. I know I've seen a lot of it flying all over the places. We have the toolkit from a British investment, and I've seen another one from other companies. So we can just link up with some of these things to develop environmental and social management system, and then implement environmental and social guidance audit program. Within your system, just check through, be sure that okay, this is what is important, this is what is required, this is what I need to know, and then upskill yourself. And then check regulatory evolutions. A lot of things are emerging, from time to time. I work in the power industry, and recently I see a lot of requirements coming from NEC, I see a lot of requirements coming in from IFRC, asking for requirement you must meet, because of attestations and buy-in of the federal government. So you need to check regulatory evolutions to be sure that you're up to date with what is happening. Yeah, you could also seek support from consulting team along governmental assessment. So we have a lot of consultants within our field and our sphere of operations. So you can decide to liaise, with any of them, to put you through or to get some experience or understanding. And then you could also support your own sustainability team for implementing ESG due diligence strategy. So you can teach them, you can give them some guidance, you can bring them together and expose them when opportunity comes in such manner. And of course, you can do a mini inspections in your organizations and develop an ESAP, and then try and see how you can facilitate the closing out. That definitely will have given you an understanding of what is going to happen when the main external person comes in for an ESDD in your organization. So, well, I have to talk about it because the world is getting wild now, and a lot of things are happening around the artificial intelligence. So there's every possibility that in the future, due diligence process could become more streamlined, more accurate, more efficient because of AI. So as you are doing what you are doing, take your time also to also check left and right with what AI is doing, so that you can be updated with trends of things. I think this is where I'm going to stop my presentation so that I can give room for questions and discussions. Thank you so very much for the privilege, and I'm grateful. I'll be waiting for questions from the team. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that succinct delivery. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your time. At this point, please, if you have questions, we are 72 in the building, 73 in the building. If you have questions, please kindly raise up your hand now. Any form of question within
Or contribution.
Contributions, questions from environment, from ESG, ESDD, and ES&M. If you have questions, please kindly raise up your hand so that we can take roll.
There are some questions in the chat box already.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, question one.
Okay, question one. Question one says, sorry, I have to scroll through. Like ESDD and EDD, carried out at the outset of a project, or is it carried out while the project has already commenced and is ongoing? That is the first question, sir.
Okay.
When is it carried out?
Yeah. Basically, because it's an enhanced one, so there's every possibility that ESDD has been done before, but then there is a signal somewhere, and then they have to continue to lengthen their comprehensiveness of what they have done earlier on. So it could be at the onset of the project, or while the project is about to commence. But you won't have ESDD, you have EDD if there was no signal or if there was no condition around that investment or that business platform, as I've already indicated, there's nothing like fraud, there's nothing like arms dealing, terrorism, and some other things like that, so you may not have such. But if there's a signal around such, then they have to extend the ESDD to an EDD. So question 2. Hello? Hello? Hello?
All right, I was muted. I didn't know I was muted. So the second question says that if you already have a robust and effective ESMS, will you ever need to develop an ESAP? If yes, what would trigger the development of ESAP? Please, if you are giving us questions, we know that we are gurus here. Please, some of us don't know anything. Help us to write it in full, your abbreviations, so that people reading will understand your question. So if you already have a robust ESMS, will you need to develop an ESAP? That is a question.
Okay, Mr. Juwon, I think that's from Juwon. Juwon is asking is if you have an ESM, environmental and social management system. Yes, it's important for you. You don't develop an ESAP if you don't carry out maybe an inspection or an audit. So you could actually do an audit. You can do an internal audit within your organization and then come up with ESAP so that you can use that to close out some of the findings that was discovered during that inspection. We did one recently in my organization. It was an internal program, but we were able to assess it on the basis of NEC regulatory manual, NEC HSE code. So we check with the NEC code, and see what is missing, and what we need to work. And we came up with an ESAP. So if you have a system, fine, but you will need to be able to come up with an ESP only after you have conducted maybe an inspection, an audit, whether internal or external.
All right, thank you, sir. Next question is, in a country filled with some dishonest and corrupt officials in regulatory bodies, and before I end that question, understand that dishonest and corrupt people is not only your country, they are everywhere. So because me personally, I don't like when people affiliate my country only to corrupt people. They are everywhere in the world. So let me continue with the question. In a country filled with some honest and some dishonest and corrupt officials in regulatory bodies, how do one achieve compliance without cutting corners and be sure they are doing it right, especially in ESG?
Okay. It's even an abnormal to wait for regulatory bodies before you comply. Now, your compliance should have been first to safeguard your business, your employees, and the environment where you work. Even if it is not a requirement, from regulatory bodies, you can do a lot of things for yourself that does not need the tick or the approach of any regulatory bodies. So that's the first thing I want to clear for us. Now, if you do the right thing, compliance is a given. So now, come back to the question now. We are asking dishonest, corrupt officials, how does one achieve compliance without consequence? Of course, for example, now, I'm used to NEC codes. I'm used to NESTRA requirements. I'm used to Federal Ministry of Environment. I'm used to Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economies. Those are some of the companies I work with. Currently now, I'm getting used to financial reporting system, where they're coming up with the ISSB standard 1 and standard 2. Now, you don't need anything. Once the specifications of those requirements are there, it's just for you to go back to your organizations and put them in place. So it is the only issue you may have is when you have done what you need to do, if they have to come to verify, you may have delay with them coming to verify. That's coming to your locations to come and check. But other than that, it won't stop you from doing what you need to do. I have related and I have good relationship with a lot of regulators. I don't need to cut corners. I don't even cut corners because they know that what we're doing is the right thing, whether they are coming or they are not coming. On Thursday last week, we had a workshop with Nestra where we're doing permitting. We're checking the permitting regulations 2009. And then, as we're going through it, we have the permitting, and then you have suspension of permit, and then we have legal actions and all the rest. So I told them when I was rounding up our discussion, I said, why would an organization wait until your permit is suspended? Why will an organization wait until you have legal issues before you comply? So for me, I don't think there's anything difficult in meeting up with some of these regulatory compliances. I'm not sure. So once you know your onions, you do what is right, I'm sure you won't have any issue whether officials are corrupt or officials are dishonest. That's my take, sir.
Thank you, sir, for that response. Next question. It says that, please, is ESDD related to sustainability reports? And are there differences or similarities? Secondly, please, what does codified and not codified stakeholders mean?
Okay, ESDD, of course, is related to sustainability, but basically not the actual sustainability reporting. So ESDD is just the report of an investigation that was carried out, in line with some environmental and social framework to ensure that business atmosphere is good for the organization. So it has nothing to do with business sustainability reporting. Sustainability reporting is a bit wide because it has to do with so many things. You may have to talk about deep things in your environmental, deep things in your social, deep things about your governance. Of course, ESDD might check some of these things, and some of the information that they are going to get from ESDD will also be useful for sustainability reporting, but they are not the same thing. So that is that. Now, codified and not codified stakeholders. Codified stakeholders are statutory, regulated, binded stakeholders. Those ones, organizations like Federal Ministry of Environment, organizations like NISRA, DPR, organizations like ministries of education and some other things like that. So those ones that have government regulations that is binding them, that's what we mean by the codified. And then the non-codified are just the stakeholders, maybe community people that they don't have any rule, they don't have anything documented as a law within the community area, but they know that these are the things that must be done, to be sure that life is safe here. So those are the things we refer to as non-codified.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Next question, is there any standard or manual for ESDD, just like QMS, EMS, like all the ISO standard I used to have?
Yeah, I made mention during the presentation, I referred to the IFC performance standards. I also referred to the World Bank Environmental and Social Guidelines. So those materials are available. And then it could also be specific materials for industries, like for the power industry, for hydropower industry, not even all power industry, for the hydropower industry. I made mention of the hydropower sustainability standard. So there could also be other standard in other industries.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, let me look at, is there any other question? My question is, what's the difference between ESDD expert and business continuity or ESG expert?
ESDD expert, well, anybody could be an ESG expert as long as you know what it means to carry out environmental and social due diligence. Once you are knowledgeable in the IFC performance standards, you can actually be an expert. But being an expert will have meant that you have attempted or gone out with or carried out some of such activities over time, and then that will have given you some impetus to stand as an expert. So that's one. Yes, business continuity and ESG expert. The ESG role is very diverse. If you look at why ESG, you discover that ESG is because it is expected to aid sustainability. And of course, when you talk about sustainability, you're also talking about business continuity. But I know there are different courses that has to do with business continuity. So they are not the same, but they could also work to be the same. That's just my understanding. But I know there are other people on this call that could also help me to expatiate more on business continuity experts.
All right. Yes, you have rightly broken it down. Business continuity is a field on its own, but they all work together for the same purpose. But they have different framework that they have different frameworks that applies to them, but they all work for the same purpose. Is there a standard or template for reporting ESDD? Are you there, sir?
Yeah.
So is there a standard or a template for reporting ESDD?
Basically, we have a standard. I've told you about the standard. So now all we just need to do is you could pick them one by one and describe your observations and then use that to come up with your report. That's one. Then, but you could also go to some websites, African Development Bank, IFC. You might also have some checklists or templates rather, or past reports, and then you can use that to also develop your ESDD. But basically, you have that IFC performance standard, you have the World Bank ENES guidelines. So definitely you can use any of these as a standard and template to develop your observations and come up with your reports.
All right. Then the last question that I have here today, it says that what are the purposes of scoping? Sorry, what are the processes of scoping?
Scoping, definitely, of course. Scoping, there is in investment industry, that's what we call initiation. So in the initiation, you will have known that this is the kind of business we are going to. So are we going to agriculture? Are we going to transportation? So if you are going to transportation, what kind of transportation? Are we going to healthcare? So if we are going to healthcare, which kind of healthcare are we going to? Are we going to hospital or are we going to a pharmacy? Because I have seen in my search recently that I discovered that we have investors also that has invested in some pharmacy. When you look at some very unique pharmacies all over Nigeria, I don't want to start mentioning them. You will discover that they were all funded from investors from this kind of discussions. So now, so the scope is, am I going to healthcare? So if it is healthcare, am I going to a hospital? If it is hospital, so am I going to operations? Or am I going to pharmacy? Or am I going to training or development, capacity development, or some other things like that? So it is what you started with your initiation that determines the scope of what you want to go into. If you want to go into agric, so you need to decide, I'm going to agric. Am I going to cashew? Am I go for palm oil or palm kernel? Or am I go for cocoa or some other things like that? So it is, all this starts from the initiation process. So it's from there you decide what it is, and then you can frame up your scope from there. Yeah, that's it. I think I'm done from here.
All right. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Miss Monica. And also, I think you still have one more question, but let me read what Miss Monica just mentioned now. Business continuity management system focus more on the business risk, especially cyber risk, and how organizations can quickly from emergencies and quickly from emergencies and reduce the downtime and the cost of recovering in the event of an incident. Yes. Okay. Thank you, ma. I need to log out now. It has been an insightful section. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma, for coming. We appreciate you. So you have a question from Darlington, from Mr. Darlington. Is CSR the same as sustainability?
Well, this is not the scope of work, but let's discuss it since you're already in the field. CSR is not the same as sustainability, even though it is part of it. So sustainability goes beyond just CSR. Sustainability goes beyond building of schools, beyond IDPs, settlement, feeding, and all the rest. Sustainability is actually the outcome of ESG and CSR. So if you're able to implement ESG, environmental social governance, definitely with CSR, then the result of these two is what gives you sustainability. So CSR is definitely not sustainability.
Okay, you can see some hands up. Mrs. Priscilla, please kindly unmute quickly.
Oh, okay, so let me just quickly contribute. Well done, Mr. Titus. So CSR is not directly sustainability. You would remember Mr. Titus made ESG. Now, what is ESG? It's about risk management. Manage the environmental risks, the social risks, and the governance risks. Then you obtain business sustainability. Now, CSRs fall under one of the sub-pillar of the social part. What does it mean? In the process of managing social risks, people just come up with strategy. If I develop CSR initiatives, maybe the host community will just stay with me. In that essence, they've been able to curtail their social risk. So CSR contributes one way or the other to social business sustainability, but we can't say it is sustainability because sustainability is a very wide, diverse subject. And we can't say just CSR alone can give us business sustainability, it must encompass both the environmental part, both the governance part. I'll give you a typical example, like for Shiro Hydropower Station now, it is situated in a remote community. Yes, they have surrounding us community, but they still have to do environmental initiative, collect permits, do sampling, ensure that okay, the water that is discharged into those community, it is in alignment with the regulatory standard. Even though they do CSR, only social sustainability programs will not keep them in business, or else if they just do the social part like CSR, the government will come and shut them down because, well, you're not renewing permit, you're not doing waste and toxic substance. If this governance structure is not there too, we won't say there's business sustainability, because that will be talking about risk management, we're talking about good policies and how they are implemented and the whole thing. So we can't say CSR alone is sustainability. If you look at what's it called, CFI told us that training program on what is ESG. They already told us how sustainability started. It started with EHS, then it moved to sustainability, then it moved to CSR. Now we are now on ESG. So I hope I've been able to give clarity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. That was well communicated. Mr. Yekin Nikolawole, please quickly.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Titus. Thank you for the insightful presentation. And many thanks to Mr. Wali for creating this platform for us to learn and unlearn. Quick one. To the lecturer, the enhanced due diligence, I was just thinking that because I can see investigating fraud, crimes and the likes. So I want to know if it's actually links to cybersecurity, and if professional, ESG professionals should be looking at learning about cybersecurity to be able to manage this enhanced due diligence. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Basically, it's not really, it may not be an ESG job for EDD. So it might go beyond that, but I don't think there's no limitation now. So anybody can extend, to learn to cybersecurity, as well, even some financial, what do you call it now? Monitoring deals as well. So, but basically, EDD might not just be ESG role or ESG expert's responsibility. I don't know if that clears it. And let me just add to it. I see that Priscilla just posted something on the platform now. It's good if we can just look at that information. Talks more on ESDD that we just discussed. I think you get it. Let me see if I can also drop the PDF copy of what you just dropped now on the platform, so that we can all have it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Ms. Priscilla, for sharing that with us. Really appreciate. In the absence of no more question, before we go to the next stage of certificate of appreciation.
Sorry, Mr. Wali, let me quickly say something about that last question that was asked about financial fraud being a component of sustainability or ESDD. So yes, it depends on some organization, but I know the likes of Diego, they've been able to map out their material risks. So now, and it so happened that cyber security and data management happen to come out as one material subject for them. So what have they been doing? They send these to businesses like those downstream or upstream them to be sure that, okay, through you, if you don't manage your cyber security properly, it does not affect Diego. Do you understand? So in so doing, it is actually, they are trying to work towards sustainability. They are trying to assure their data and to be sure that their cyber is safe. So you can say they are doing sustainability, and it falls under governance. That is a strategy for them. I don't know if you understand. Thanks.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That is well communicated. So before we go to this aspect of to the next phase, we have a couple of announcements. some of us are aware already that we have our mental well-being mini conference happening at LCCI Ikeja on April 6th. Is an hybrid event. It will also be happening virtually. We will just be discussing about management of mental well-being as an individual and as an organization. So registration is 20,000 naira only, and it comes with a free book. Yeah, the workplace. So many of us have been coming across the slide, the flyer. The physical event is just for 50%. We are not going to take more than 50. It's just to take 50% for physical. Virtual can be as much as possible. But for physical events, we really want to ensure that we have limited seats available. So if you are interested in joining us on the 6th of April, please do reach out to us. Also, our ISO 45001, our next batch of ISO courses is starting up upper week. ISO 45001, 9001, 40001, and integrated management system. So if you are interested in taking any of these, class, please do reach out to us. We'll do the announcement again the second time. Also note that today will be the last day we'll be using this particular link. We are moving to a new Zoom account. So you might not get our, what's it called? Reminder. You might not get a reminder as we used to get it when we have a webinar. So we'll be starting a new Zoom account. Hopefully we'll be able to transfer these accounts, this contact into the new account. But for now, no. So be ready for next week. We have another wonderful topic. Like I said, you might not get our reminder as you used to. So the new account will be shared across for us to continue learning. And like I said earlier, for those that just joined, Mental Wellbeing Mini Conference is an hybrid event, physical and virtual. You won't want to miss this kind of section. It's for everyone. Mental well-being is about every single person. We are all going through a whole lot, and we need this kind of enlightenment section, this kind of mini conference that addresses issue of mental well-being as an individual. What are the strategies that we can use to improve our mental well-being and be more productive? We are also having slots for organization. So if you want to register 2 of your staff, 3 of your staff, 4 of your staff, there's also opportunity for this particular mini conference. Also, we are making a request. We are making a request for anyone here who can take us through the 8 IFC reporting standard. Yes, we know that we have a ESG sustainability platform, but unfortunately for me, due to busy schedule, I was unable to follow up on that. And it's very, very important. This discussion is incomplete without us knowing the 8 IFC reporting standard. So if you know that you can volunteer and take us through, maybe summarize it, or maybe it can take us 3 weeks or 4 weeks every Sunday for us to learn in details the 8 IFC reporting standard. It will really go a long way. So if you have anyone that wants to volunteer, you can reach out to me directly and let us break it down in, yes, the 8 IFC reporting standard or performance standard. I don't know which is it. So Mr. Kingsley can volunteer, take us through for 4 weeks every Sunday for us to really learn a lot from you. And we are looking up to that. So that being said, we are going to present a certificate, and this will be the first time we will present certificates. Yes, a couple of persons have told me, especially one of our very proud speakers that we had 3 times ago, about the importance of issuing certification, and we have looked into it, and we have decided to incorporate this. For those that have discussed on this platform and we did not give you certificates, please, we are sorry. We are going to start it very soon. We have started it already, and from now on, we'll be issuing certificates. So we are happy, we are glad to present this certificate of appreciation. I hope you can see our screen to present this certificate of appreciation for our weekly enlightenment webinar series to Mr. Titus. I know we have murdered the name again. That name will be corrected, sir. To Mr. Titus Aranilewa. Yes.
Oh,
This certificate.
thank you very much, sir.
This certificate is presented to Mr. Titus Aranelewa for sharing his invaluable insight as a guest speaker at our weekly enlightenment series on preparing organization for ESDD and ES&M process. Thank you so much, sir. Please kindly take this. I'm going to share it to you. It's yours. We appreciate you. This is just a token of our appreciation for choosing to actually let us learn through you. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah,
Thank you so
we
much.
are with you, sir. You want to say something, sir?
Yes, I'm going to send a copy of this presentation to the platform just before we shut down so that you can revise it after now.
Thank you so much, sir. Ms. Lovely, you want to say something?
Yes. I don't know if I'm audible. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. What an insightful class. Thanks, Mr. Titus. I just wanted to lend my voice to this topic because it's a crucial topic to every ESG or sustainability practitioner. Okay, and not even the people that are coming on newly in the field is something that anyone can do. But then the way I would like to see it is before we can delve into ESDD, that's environmental and social due diligence, you need to first of all understand your industry and know what is material to that industry, meaning that you have to carry out your materiality assessment. So the way biodiversity will impact on or affect someone that is in agriculture or maybe mining industry that will need to remove vegetation overburden in order to assess minerals will be different compared to how it will affect someone that is in renewable energy industry. So the essence of this is for us to be able to understand the risk. These are non-financial risks that will have great impact on the company's or your organization's financials. So you first of all have to understand which one will have the most critical, most significant risk. And the essence of ESG or sustainability is basically to mitigate those risks. That's why ESG and sustainability is basically about strategies, developing strategy. And then again, in ESDD, another thing to look out for is also why we even look at standards aside the framework is to be able to look at targets. It's not just enough to say you have done a due diligence. What is your action point speaking to? Is actually targeted at closing gaps. It then means you have to benchmark it according, with regards to a particular standard. Okay, let's say that you're dealing with you're looking at environment. You should be looking at areas like energy, water management, waste management, biodiversity, climate adaptation. Then what are the standards? How do you close? It's only when you're able to identify a standard, give it a standard and say that this is the target, this is how it's supposed to be, this is what you found out, this is how it's supposed to be. Then you can develop your action plan on how to close it out and then achieve, what you want to achieve in your different organization. So it's also better when you are looking at it, you have to be holistic about it, the environmental, the social aspect that will impact on your business, and then look at ways to close it out. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me also download before it goes away. Okay, and download. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for this section. Hopefully, next week again, we'll be having another wonderful section. And if not, it will be in 2 weeks' time. But we hope that is going to happen this coming week. And it's also going to be a very wonderful enlightenment session for everyone. So please do stay tuned, and fingers crossed. We appreciate you once again, Mr. Titus, for this wonderful presentation. Once again, announcement. Mr. Olumide Ali, want to say something?
To clap for her.
Okay,
I just want to clap for her, but
okay, thank you, sir. Thank
you.
Okay, okay, wanted to clap. Okay, that is a clap for you, wonderful erudite Miss Loveling. Thank you so much for that contribution. And again, do not forget, I keep mentioning, so that my money will not go in vain. April 6th, mini conference, mental well-being. It's a call to everyone, and everyone is invited. Everyone is invited. It's promisingly going to be an interesting section. We are discussing this different subject matter on management of mental well-being as an individual and as an organization. Come as a person, invite your colleagues, invite your friends. It's an hybrid event happening physically at LCCI and also virtually. We're going to send the link for those that can't join physically due to issue of location and the likes. Thank you. See you all again next week. Thank you and God bless you. So we can all unmute now and let's say thank you to our wonderful speaker. We can all unmute now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Mr.
We are very
Titus.
grateful.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. This is a very
Thank you. I want to
insightful
presentation. Thank you,
Thank
you very much.
everybody.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank you very much, Mr. Titus.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Waliu, for putting this together.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Mr. Waliu. Thank you.
10, 9,
Try and connect with us on LinkedIn.
Okay, that's true. Please, you can connect. Let's connect on LinkedIn. Mr. Title, as you can see the name, the R is single R, sorry. Mr. You removed it, Mr. I think the guy has corrected it. I'm sharing the old one. This has been corrected already. Titus, Titus, then Aranirewa. The R is the one. So let's connect with him. You will see that man folding his hands on suit on LinkedIn. He's the one. Connect with him and let us continue to build our network. Like always commonly said, your network is your net worth. Thank you and God bless you. So we are rounding up now in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is no one.